We are live. Welcome everyone to the first live stream on my channel talking about West Ham transfer news and everything West Ham transfer news. We had 50k subs with no vids who was already in the chat. Hello mate, how are you doing? I hope the audio's fine. Can you just say yes if the audio's fine? We're going to be covering some West Ham news and just sort of whoever's in the chat sort of get some interaction with you guys today. Hello Flynn, thank you for joining mate. Hello Ashton, thank you for joining as well mate. It's my first time live streaming by the way, so I've never done this before, so I'm totally winging it. 50, alright, lovely. So we're going to talk about some West Ham transfer news, and then as well guys, make sure you hit the like button, that would be generally appreciated. As well as that, give me some comments down below, anything, questions regarding West Ham that are, I like to interact with you guys. On my YouTube videos, I like to sort of get to everyone's comments. So if you've got any questions regarding West Ham, thank you Thunder and Joy. Thank you for joining Thunder and Joy. Audio is proper. I'm presuming that is audio is proper good. Thank you. Right, that is class. Right, so the first topic I want to talk about is every single video I've been doing lately has been about Declan Rice. The last 3 videos, Declan Rice is not joining Chelsea. Suddenly this deal is now back on. Whether or not Declan Rice is going to join Chelsea, we do not know. And it's a question that Chelsea fans, West Ham fans all want to know, because the thing is that for me personally, if he is going to leave this summer, we need to get it done soon, because we need to bring in our own players. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, we'll sign in Declan Rice, we'll sell Declan Rice, and then all our top targets will have gone. So we're just going to look at this newspaper article. Chelsea target Declan Rice, keen on Blues move as Frank Lampard listens to Jorginho offers. And it just goes on to say that Chelsea target Declan Rice is reportedly keen on a move back to Stamford Bridge, but won't push for a transfer away from West Ham because of his good relationship with the club. 50k subs with no viz says Chelsea and Declan Rice won't happen. I do think it will happen. I'm not sure if it will happen this summer. I think it's the inevitable, unfortunately. And the reason why I say this is because Declan Rice is a proper footballer. He's a proper footballer. And unfortunately, because of where West Ham are as a club, one season we're doing well, one season we're not, I just feel like he will move on. But I just don't want us to drag it out. The worst thing that could happen is Declan Rice being sold on the last day of the transfer window, and then suddenly we can't do anything about it to bring in our own player. So only 80 mil on Jorginho acceptable, but he won't be in Moyes' plans. He is worth 100+ million. We can't sell him for less. Yeah, 100%, Zach. You've only got to compare him to, Nathan Ake's 40 million. Well, Nathan Ake's not even a footballer. He's not even a championship footballer compared to Declan Rice. And yeah, if Harry Maguire's going for 80 million, we have 100% got to be charging 100. But the only thing that I feel like, and I want your guys' opinion on this, because of the current state that West Ham are in, it's been well publicised that, we do not have any transfer funds. Leeds and Aston Villa look like, Watkins is apparently going to Villa. Apparently Watkins and Ben Rama, there was rumours like 45 million for them both. We need to sign some players. Chelsea are using us to train him, and then when he's ready, they will buy him. Yeah, the thing is, I think Chelsea won't play him centre-back. And I think this is common knowledge here. Declan Rice is reportedly keen. I understand, I think Declan Rice is in a position that he's happy to stay at West Ham for at least another season or so. But if, for example, Chelsea come in with 100 million in the summer and the opportunity was there for him to go to Chelsea, obviously he would go. At the end of the day, I do understand people's, point of view where they go, why would he go back to Chelsea? They released him. But the thing is, you've got to flip it on the other way. He's going to want to go there and prove a point. Why did you guys let me leave when I was 14? Here I am. You just paid 100 million for me, So yes, there is sort of look at it. Well, why would he want to go back to them? But then you look at it on the other hand, and you're like, he wants to go there and prove a point. We need to offer Declan Rice a new contract with good wages in order to keep him, says Flynn. 100% Flynn. Obviously, we've got rid of Zabaleta. Who else did we get rid of that was on high wages? Sanchez. We should be going to Declan Rice. Apparently, we've already told Rice that, yes, you are going to be the main man. We want to build a team around you. But we should be going to Declan Rice and been telling, mate, here's 120, 130k a week. You're the highest paid player at this club. At the end of the day, he's our most important player. There's no debate about it. He's our best player. we should be going 120, 130k a week. Here it is. If we really mean business about keeping him, we need to do it. Zach Parker goes, we have 15 million or less, according to Sean, from More Than Just a Podcast. I'm not too sure about that podcast, mate. There's only a couple of people that I do generally watch West Ham related. Hammers Chat, Gonzo, and obviously West Ham Fan TV lot. So if that is true, we only have 15 million or less. I think that is probably the wage budget that we are being looked at as for defenders. That's what XWH employee said as well. We have no money, and the only players people want to buy is Rice and Anderson. What is your guys' opinions on Anderson? Let me know in the comment section down below, because we're going to move on to our next topic. Obviously, we can come back to Rice, etc. I want to talk about Shane Duffy. We've been linked with him. Comment down below what you guys think about Anderson. Are you in the Anderson camp, or do you want Anderson to leave? Again, guys, if you could slap a video a like, that would be generally fantastic, because it just helps the video. As well, guys, I have actually started another channel. If you guys like to see my ugly face even more, it's in the description. It's Ben Talks Football. Something similar to this. I'll talk about the latest football topics, etc. Sorry, not Anderson. Dejan Garner. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was obviously reports that West Brom do want Dejan Garner. Now, I want to talk about Shane Duffy here on the screen. Transfer news. Albion Shane Duffy linked to West Ham. Wait, guys, it's very hot in here. I just need to have a sip of my Monster. I hope you guys have enjoyed the weather today. It's been absolutely banging. Anderson is useless now. If we can get 27.5 million, let him go. Yeah, even 25 million, I'd let him go. Now, I want to talk about Shane Duffy, because we've been linked with him. Apparently, this is the second time we've been linked with him. We got linked with him in January for around about £10 million. And what sort of camp are you in? Because Dunk for Balbuena, Dunk will be going to, if he leaves Brighton, he will be going to Chelsea. I feel like Dunk will be going to Chelsea. I'm actually in the camp where I like this signing. And as West Ham fans, we can relate to him in the sense that this guy reminds me of James Collins, Ginger Pele, so much. He will just block. He will just head balls away. And I've actually want to show you some stats on whoscored.com. And we're going to sort of compare some stats that Shane Duffy has got compared to Ogbonna. Ashton Guildford says, sell Anderson, Masuaku, Lanzini, and bid for Watkins and Benrahma. Yeah, I totally agree. Anderson, Masuaku, and Lanzini. Anderson, if we can get around about £25 million, we just need to accept it. Lanzini, if we can get 10 million, 15 million, that'd be great. However, we know these transfers, because Anderson's on 100k a week, Lanzini's on 100k a week. It's going to take a lot to shift these boys off the wage. And these transfers can take a while, especially if these guys have got families, because they have to get their kids in new schools. Obviously, what's happening in the world right now. Him and Ogbonna could be very nice at the back. This would give the rest of the team confidence. Yeah, I was just going back to Shane Duffy. If we compare him, he hasn't really played that much this season. And I don't think that's because of his defensive ability. I think this is more because of his ability on the ball. Since Cooper has come in at Brighton, he's wanted to play a brand of football that probably doesn't suit Shane Duffy. Like playing it out from the back. And he sort of brought his own players in. And we've only got really compare him. So we're going to look at the 2018-2019 season. 35 appearances. He's made, in average, 1 tackle, 1 interception per game, that is, not over the course of the season. 6.9, pretty much 7 clearances per game. So every single ball in the box is 193 centimetres, very tall, going to win a lot of aerial duels. 28 years old, which I think is a good age for a centre-back. Would probably be at West Ham till he's 32. It's not like he's currently 32. So it would be a decent signing. If we pay him around about 10 million, 8 million pounds, I think that'd be decent. If we compare him to Ogbonna, Ogbonna's got 4.2. Ogbonna, of course, is not going to be as good as in the air. Doesn't make as many blocks per game. Tackles, makes slightly more. I think Ogbonna and Shane Duffy could be a decent centre-back partnership. I think the jury's still out on Diop. I think the jury's still up on... So we've missed out on Moyes' top tie. Zach, mate, we need to, honestly, they need to find the money. I think West Ham, especially the club, they've got to respect David Moyes, in the sense that if he wants to sell Anderson, or he wants to sell someone, we have to respect that. We have to, bring in these top targets. Otherwise, we're gonna. I think we'll struggle next year if we don't bring him in because Eze looks like he's going Crystal Palace, as you said. Moyes' plan is to get ball playing centre backs. He's a Brexit centre back, like a hoofball Burnley player, not ball player. Yeah, I do agree, 50k subs, but I think that's sometimes what we need. I think there was a lot of times last season, especially the Brighton game when we was winning, and Diop and Ogbonna, they just dilly-dallied with it. We lost possession of the ball. Brighton went on and scored. So yeah, I think that you have to have balance. You have to have balance between players that can play out from the back and then people who are going to stick your head on it. And when you need it, let's get rid of the ball. Ashton Guildford says, if we sign, is it Kerpe? I know he's the Wigan centre back, I just can't pronounce his name. And Robinson from Wigan, that will save us some money. Yes, the Wigan left back apparently is 1.5 million. Is that correct? 1.5 million? He would be a very good. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't really seen him much. I'm not gonna lie. So if someone in the chat could give me a little bit more insight onto Robinson, but yeah, going back to Duffy, I think this would be a very good transfer. I just think he's something that we need right now. We need more solid defenders because I think sometimes Diop is he left or right footed? It doesn't actually say here. That would have helped. It doesn't actually say here. I'm presuming he's going to be right. I'm presuming he's going to be right. Hello, Corey. Thanks for joining in, mate. Yeah, it doesn't actually say on whoscored.com whether Shane Duffy is left or right foot, but I think he's exactly what we need. I think we need someone who's going to put their head on the ball sometimes. Someone who's going to, he does remind me exactly like Ginger Pele. Someone who's going to wear, sort of get into the West Ham culture. He's going to want to put his, put his all into every game. I think it'd be a fantastic signing. I really, really do. But if we go on to, I think it's Watkins. We're just going to Google. I think there is truth that he is set to join. Yeah. So according to the Birmingham Live, let's just cancel this. There was reports more on Twitter that Aston Villa have agreed 45 million for Benrahma and Watkins. 45 million from both, which apparently 18 million of that would probably be Watkins and the rest would probably be Benrahma. Well, guys, after watching the Brentford playoff final and you've watched just the playoffs in general, who would you rather have, Eze or Benrahma? Would you rather us sign Eze or would you rather us sign Benrahma? How do you pronounce it? I don't know how to pronounce your name, mate. Scurzy. Sell Anderson, Lanzini, Wilshere, Fredericks, and Balbuena for about 40 to 50 million. And buy Eze, Watkins, Duffy, Robinson, Kerper, and Cash. I agree with the players that you mentioned and buying. I really do want Cash. I really love the way, just the way he attacks the byline. I do believe we need to get rid of Fredericks as well. Eze definitely. Flynn also says Eze. I'm slightly leaning towards Eze. I'm not going to lie, because when West Ham were first linked with Benrahma, I was generally excited. Just because I think at West Ham we have missed so much of Dimitri Payet in the sense of that entertainment. Like, I remember going to Manchester United with my dad and mates, the quarter-final of the FA Cup, and he's every free kick was a penalty. Do you know what I mean? Just being able to do roulettes, taking players on. And that is why I saw Benrahma. But taking into the amount of cash he's going to take, Benrahma, to get Benrahma, and then taking the amount of cash Eze. And I'll tell you what, Eze is an entertaining player as well. I am leaning towards Eze. We need a player like Eze. But yeah, the thing is, Eze and Lanzini were quite similar players. Like, Lanzini was very good at a time. Before he got his big injury, he was very good at dribbling with the ball, using his weight, and, very good with his weight. But his injuries killed him. His injuries absolutely killed him. Super Eze. Yeah, he would be a fantastic... Chris Wood. Now, we've got too much. Like, for me, we've got to keep Haller. For me, personally, I would be keeping Haller. Me and my dad have debates about Haller all the time. Like, Haller, we've invested. Think about this. We've invested £45 million into a striker that has scored 20 goals in Bundesliga, 10 assists, 11 assists, and then we've gone, you know what? We're going to play the opposite football to what you're used to. Like, if you're going to buy players like this, build the team around him. We should be playing 4-4-2, or at least a player close to him that can sort of thrive off him, because the guy hasn't turned crap overnight. Eze is levels above Benrahma, Corey says. Benrahma doesn't have the physicality to excel in the Premier League. Eze is as good as dribbler and Benrahma, but physically strong, good with both feet. Yeah, I agree. With the Eze. I watched him, I think it was West Brom last game of the season. He'd received the ball. Like, he generally plays, I think, left wing. And he likes to come inside, sort of like what Lanzini used to do. He used to start on the left, comes inside, receives the ball, dribble the ball 10 or 15 yards, uses physicality. He's actually, Eze, for the amount of money we put in, like, we would get such great value out of him. Eze is 3 times less for a similar quality and play style, obvious, yeah, 100%. Eze plays in an average team that scores goals. Benrahma plays for a better team that scores a bit more, so Eze for me. Oh, yeah, 100%. I think, if Eze played in that Brentford team, here we go. Eze plays in an average team and scores goals. Benrahma plays for a bit. Yeah, if Eze played in that in Brentford, he would be like, his goal output would be a lot better. Ian Glander, this is my dad. Haller's work rate is poor. I'd like to see more of a presence in the box. I'm not even going to have a debate about this, Dad, on stream. I'm not going to have a debate about it. We'll talk about this a little bit later. That's unreal. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think, like, just going back on my dad's comment quickly, don't get me wrong. I do think at times Haller can be lazy, but I do think it is also because he's playing in a one-striker formation. If you're one striker and you're pressing, you need the other 10 men with you to press as well. And if he's not doing that, he's literally just being piggy in the middle. He's literally just running round for no reason. Rico Henry from Brentford. This is what I spoke to my dad when we was watching the game. We said Brentford's best player, the one that we've all been linked with, Watkins, Benrahma, Rico Henry. Rico Henry was very, very good. And the one thing I liked about, I think it was in the first half of extra time, he was still bowing down that wing. His stamina was absolutely unreal. Zach, Haller looked a different player at the start of the season. We haven't been playing to his strengths and he looks tired of it. Yes, 100%. I think we've seen glimpses after sort of that run of form he had. Southampton away, and I think it was Southampton home actually. Southampton away, I think it was one of Pellegrini's last games. We played sort of a 4-4-2. He stuck Haller and Antonio up top. Haller would drop deep, sort of bounce, so everyone else in the midfield would sort of go up and support him. But then he had Antonio running the channels. If you're going to have someone as the main striker, the focal point in a one-striker formation, unless you're pumping balls to him, right, and you're getting players who are running off him in central midfield, which we didn't have before Soucek come in. And I think that was a big problem. Before Soucek come in, we didn't really have someone from the middle of midfield running beyond him. Now, it'd be interesting to see when we play like a 4-1-4-1 or 4-4-1-1, if we had Haller up top on his own, how much different it would be. Now we've got Soucek running from midfield and sort of giving him those options, running in beyond him. But in my opinion, if you're spending 45 million on a striker, you've got to be putting in we've got to be putting the best possible foundations and formations. I think we need to get Jovic on loan from Real Madrid to get the best out of Haller. He's going to go to AC Milan, mate. He'll go to someone like AC Milan, somewhere in Italy. Like, he's a very good striker. Again, I think it is, I suppose Real Madrid, they've spent 60 million and they don't really play to his strengths. Can't afford Henry. He's 15 to 20 mil, unfortunately. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, if we had the money, if money wasn't an issue, and say, Moyes had Pellegrini's summer transfer budgets from last season, I would 100% go for Henry because he was very, very good. He's not getting game time. It's not that I just think there's better options for him, Flynn. I think there'll be other clubs like AC Milan, etc. Like sort of bigger clubs that would be able to offer him first team football but play at a higher level, even in Europa League. Unfortunately, I think West Ham, we're in this transition at the moment that we need to forget. Let's just forget this next level, because at the moment, we've been at the London Stadium for 4 seasons. We've had 3 seasons pretty much as a relegation battle. We need to be able to walk before we sprint, or walk before we run, whatever the quote is. But you get my drift. We can't expect to finish 17th and go and finish 8th. Like next season, a solid season would be one that we're not involved in a relegational battle, which is 11th, 10th. But I would like to see Moyes go for the cups. Like, even if it's the Carabao Cup, I don't give a damn what these top clubs think. Chelsea, Man United, Man City, you know, they put rubbish sides out until they get to the final. I'd be absolutely buzzing if we won the Carabao Cup. I would be. You know, I don't care what people say if it's a Mickey Mouse, you know, kind of cup. I'd be absolutely over the moon with it. I can't believe the Jovic link, Zach says. I would like Malan Sarr in our backline. Is that the left back? I think it's the left back, or he plays in defence from one of Nice or Lille. I think he's on a free transfer, isn't he, Ashton? I'm pretty sure. He's on a free transfer. I'm pretty sure. He does look very good, but I've also read that Arsenal are looking at him. We have to rebuild and trust in Moyes, although the board aren't giving him any money for signs. Yes, and this is... Right, I'm going to say something very controversial here, right, and I want your opinions on it. Right, okay. If Declan Rice was to leave, right, because let's be honest, like, as much as I know the club respect Mark Noble, we all fans as love Mark Noble because of the fact of what he's done for this club. He's been there through thick and thin in the Championship, back, you know, relegation, promotion. At the end of the day, you've also got to look at it, like, I know fans will say, like, Declan Rice, he can be a cult hero at West Ham, which he can. If he stayed at West Ham, he would be captain probably after next season, depending on Mark Noble's role at the club, and he could be a legend. But if you think about it, was Mark Noble ever good enough to progress his career better than West Ham? No. Declan Rice would get into any of the top four team. Any top four team, he's a starter for that team. Chelsea will sell Jorginho. They will replace him with Declan Rice. Whether he plays centre-back or CDM, he will start for a Champions League team. And that's the thing we've got to understand as fans and as a club, that if Chelsea come in with 80, 90 million, we're just going to have to accept the fact that Declan Rice, unfortunately, is better than us, because he's not bigger than us, but the level of football we are playing at, the transitional phase, one season we're good, one season we're not. Declan Rice is, you know, he will go on to possibly captain England, captain Chelsea. We can't hold him back, especially if we get 70, 80 million. However, I am afraid that West Ham, you know what these owners are like, that they will absolutely just mug us all off and accept 65 million because we need the money. Trust me, whatever they sell Jorginho, it won't be Corey. Nah, like, obviously, a lot of Chelsea fans think they're getting Declan Rice for 60 million, or they can offer 50 million. They're not getting Declan Rice for 50 million. Mate, add an extra 50 million on that, or 35 million, we'll consider it. And obviously, we all know that, you know, Chelsea have gone out. Chelsea have offered us, you know, Barkley. But realistically, the players that Chelsea are offering, if they are going to want Declan Rice, I would want 50 million plus Tammy Abraham plus Tomori, and I want them on permanent transfers. I don't want no loans. There was talks like, oh, we'll give you Tomori on loan. Why would we have someone on loan that's not even our player? We'll probably make him a better player because we've given him game time. Then we'll give him back to you a better player, and you'll still have Rice. No, realistically, Chelsea, the players that West Ham going to want, if we are ever going to think about a player swap, are Tammy Abraham, Tomori, players of that ilk who have got a ceiling, who are young, who still can get to, you know, sort of that next level and help us get to that next level, 8th, 7th, whatever it is. They're 80 million an absolute minimum, and if they're going to offer players 50 million, Abraham, Tomori, then I may consider it, because then I would say Abraham in this market, 15 goals in the Premier League, you know, he's probably worth 30 million. Tomori, young, probably worth 20 to 30 million. Yeah, he's not forcing a move. Declan Rice won't force a move. I think it will be a similar situation to Cristiano Ronaldo back in, I'm not comparing them as players, back at Manchester United. Like, Sir Alex Ferguson was like, right, give us one more season, we'll sell you next season. And I think it could be something like that. We might say to Rice, give us this season, next season, we'll sell you if an offer is acceptable. But My dad says Ross Barkley. I would take Ross Barkley, but it'd still have to be 60 or 70 million because I only value Ross Barkley at maximum 20 million. Maximum 20 million, Ross Barkley. It'd still have to be 70, 80 million for me to even consider it, plus Ross Barkley. So the overall transfer fee is 100 million. That is the only way I would even consider Declan Rice. We are going to wrap it up in a couple of minutes, guys. I said I was only going to do half an hour. This is my first stream. So, guys, yeah, remember to give the stream a like if you don't mind. It just helps me. And also, I have got a link in the description about Ben Talks Football, just talking about other football news, football topics, etc. This is channel strictly for West Ham. Give us Tomori. Give us 60 million, Tomori and Abraham. Ashton, if Chelsea come up with 60 million pounds in cash, said to Tomori, give us Tomori on a permanent transfer, and said to Abraham on a permanent transfer. As much as I like Declan Rice, I would accept it. Because the thing is, you've got to think about, yes, we love Declan Rice. We all do. We love him. You've only got to look at Liverpool. And I'm not saying, Liverpool, they still had quality players. They still had Firmino, Salah, Mane. But they sold, at their time, their most important player in Coutinho. And they bought 2 positions that they needed. So you think, if we've been given by Chelsea 60 million, Tomori, who's a very good, or has got the potential to be a very good centre-back, Abraham, who has got the potential and has proven, yes, he can be off the ball, like he can be hit and miss, but 15 goals in your first season in the Premier League, and he's obviously been in rotation with Giroud, that's still a very good return. When was the last time a West Ham player hit 15 goals in a Premier League season? I can't remember, mate. Honestly, can't remember. Maybe Decano back in Nam. I have not got a clue. So I would generally accept that, and I think you've got to be realistic. We've got 2 very good players there. And then we've also got £60 million where we can improve fullbacks and, another left attacking mid, etc. Guys, that is actually going to be the end of the stream. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me know, guys, if you want to see another stream anytime soon. Ezzy's position, you also might want to progress the CDM. Not sure he will play there for Chelsea. Just on that note, Zach, I think Chelsea will also take into account, I think Chelsea will sign a centre-back this season that is not Declan Rice. I think if they're going to sign a centre-back, I think there's better value abroad, like Jimenez, they can sign for 50, 60 million. 50, 60 million and play him centre-back. I think if they sign Declan Rice, he will be a CDM. And the reason why I say that is because, one, Jorginho will be gone, and Chelsea like to play like a 4-3-3/4 2-3-1, like a double pivot CDM. And I can see Rice and Kante, or Rice will be Kante's long-term successor because of the fact that Kante's 29 years of old. Kante's not getting any younger. He's almost 30 years old. So, Rice could play in that position for 7-8 years. So, yeah, that's what I've got to say. So, guys, that's going to be the end of this stream. Thank you all so much for joining in. I didn't think we'd have as many people. Thank you so much for interacting. Again, I do have a link in the description. Subscribe to that. I'm going to be putting up some generic football videos about trending topics, some transfer news, etc. Just about in general with football and sort of giving my opinion. I just love talking about football. And give the stream a like, as it does help me very much. And if you want to see a stream anytime soon, let me know, because, this is my first time, and I think I've done okay. This half an hour has gone very, very quick. So thank you guys so much for joining in. I'm going to have a video, hopefully, out if there's any news in the next 1 or 2 days. So I'll catch you later, guys. See you later.